Good evening, ENG. Bonjour tout le monde. So, my name is Sarah. I'm going to be your host for the intro tonight. So, as you can see, the title of this service tonight is The Network Project 100. So, this title and perfectly the fact that ENG and SPAC Nation in general are not only a church, but a platform of soul networking that make us stronger by the bond we create to elevate each other and make us see our full potential in the kingdom of God. So this week we had some impactful event as usual. So we start by Thursday's PT service that reunited all the churches. Then on Saturdays, we had a social changer led by Pastor Chris and Pastor Faith that brought together people within the social field. Then we had Hot Girls Walk led by Pastor Beverly, the leader of Strong Girls. And then Shooters Club, which is a meeting between different people in the media led by Pastor Daniel and Emmanuel. And also creative culture led by Pastor Leah, which is really a good thing because it makes us discover different brilliant artists that are going to perform tonight also. Tonight, we're going to have the community special showcasing of all the community in ENG, from fashion to beauty to sport, because we are full of creative and amazing people that know how to create a new thing. Sorry. Then we're going to have a performance, like I said, from creative culture. ENG talks by Pastor Coach David. And we're going to finish by a word by Pastor Tofara. I hope you're going to enjoy the service as I will do. And I'll leave you with the rest. Au revoir!
Originate. All right, mate. Stop gassing, mate. What the people them blasting? God of mercy, the everlasting. Watch them tell them the boy. Watch this. Nanini boys, no 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 no. Nanini boys, no 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 no. Nanini boys, no 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 no. Yeah, oh yeah. No 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 no. Bad boys in a London.
Yo, what's good, my people here at the Rolling event, window summer event. Like, the event sponsored by Red Bull. Got around 200 people here.
Watch out. You never know the gangster, me say them in a jungle. You never know the article, me say them in a jungle. You never know shy effects, man, big in a jungle. You never know you Apache rule the jungle. Who did everybody? Watch it out, man. Me a the not original.
Hello everyone, hi, my name is Rema, I'm 18, I'm a singer-songwriter, and I'm here with Creative Culture. And today I'm going to sing a cover for you, Best Part Daniel Caesar featuring her. So if you know the song, please sing along, thank you. You don't know, babe, when you hold me and kiss me slowly, it's the sweetest thing, and it don't change. And if I had it my way, you would know that you are. You're my coffee that I need in the morning. You're my sunshine when the rain starts pouring. You're here in my life.
the best part. You're the sunshine. Yes, in my eyes, yes. You're the one that I desire. And when we make up and we make love, it makes me feel so nice. You're the water that I need in the desert. You're the Tylenol I take when my head hurts. You're the sunshine of my life. Oh, I just want to see how beautiful you are. You know that I see it. I know you're a star. Where you go, I'll follow, no matter how far. If life is a movie, then you're the best part. Lord, you're the best part. Lord, you're the best part. If you love me, won't you say something? If you love me, won't you? If you love me, won't you say something? If you love me, won't you? If you love me, won't you say something? If you love me, won't you? If you love me, won't you say something? If you love me, won't you? If you love me, won't you say something? If you love me, won't you? If you love me, won't you say something? If you love me, won't you?
Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening, ENG. What an amazing performance by Rumi from the Creative Culture Club. Okay. So my name is Pastor Annabelle, and I will be speaking on behalf of the Creatives community tonight. I only have 2 minutes, so I'm not going to greet all the leaders, but greetings to all of you anyway. So first of all, sorry, can I get the slide? Shepherd. Thank you. Okay. So who are we? We're the creative community. Okay, so we're a network of experts from different fields. That's from entrepreneurs, we have musicians, artists, designers, stylists, and the list goes on. We play a vital part in building our society. I'm sorry. We drive innovation, we spark meaningful conversations, and obviously we promote inclusion and all the rest of it. So our network. So in-house, so our in-house network consists of many different businesses and initiatives. This is not the slide, by the way. Okay, here we go. So this includes Fashion Forward, the Creative Culture, Shop Zuby, led by myself, Sense by CM, led by Pastor Chris right here, Carnaby London, the PR Space, that's Pastor Jennifer, who don't know, Shooters Club, that's not shooting, that's actually media. So that's Pastor Daniel Jr. up there, and Production World, which you'll hear a little bit more about later. Okay, so just to break it down, so if you can just go to the slide before this one, please. So we have e-commerce. This is not the slide, but okay. So the e-commerce brands that we have in-house are Sense by CM. He specializes in home decor. This is definitely not it, but that's fine. Next, we have Carnaby London. They specialize in luxury accessories. And then, of course, we have Shop Zuby, which is fashion e-commerce. We also have Creative Workshop, which you can see on the screen right here. We have Fashion Forwards, Fashion Panel. We have Creative Culture, which is a music workshop led by Pastor Leah. And then And there you can see Sense by CM's candle workshop, which we'll see more of later this year, I'm hoping. Thank you. Okay, next slide. So I run an e-commerce brand called Shop Zubi. So what we do is we provide basically like your daily essentials for women on the go. So like right now you might be seeing a lot of like women in business at the moment, especially in London amongst like the Black community. So we're trying to create like products to suit their needs. So for example, like phone cases, handbags, just anything to just support them in their like daily endeavors. Next, so service opportunities. Okay, so we have a lot of departments in-house. We have social media, we have event planning, we have set design and styling, which you'll probably see more of like towards later in the year when there's like more events and stuff. And we also have media support, which is what they do up there. So if you are interested in joining any of these departments, speak to any of the leaders at the front. And that's all from me. Thank you.
Good evening, ENG. Good evening, guys. Good evening. So my name is Pastor Nike. I am the leader of Production World. So I'm going to tell you a bit about our community, but I would want to go to our first slide, please. Lovely. The next one. Okay, so we're going to play a quick little game. So I want you guys to guess the movie and the writer, okay? Put your hand up so I know who's speaking. Okay, go ahead. You don't know the writer. Okay, anyone else can do a quick guess. Who is the writer of Get Out? Okay, yeah, correct. Ding, ding, ding. All right, next one, please. Next one. I just need your brains to be a bit exercised. Okay, so guess the movie and the writer. Someone said Charlie's Angels. Okay, Kill Bill, you guys are right. Okay, who's the writer? Drew, what? All right, Daniel, we know you know everything. Okay, so the writer is... No. It's Quentin Tarantino, guys. Okay, you didn't get it, but anyway. Next one, the last one. Guess the movie and the writer. Someone said Avengers. What? Someone said Woman King. Someone said Wakanda, guys. Come on. Okay, wait, 1 second. Pastor Chips, go for it. Anyway, so, okay, you guys have got the movie. So it is Black Panther, but who is the writer? Okay, no. So let me actually tell you who the writer is. So it's Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, okay? So if you guys know Marvel, right? Yeah? Okay, they are the writers. Anyway, I just wanted to get your brains exercised a bit. So let me tell you about my community, which focuses on film and TV. Next one. So yes, that lovely lady up there, that's me. So my name is Pastor Nike, as I've said. I've got 7 years in the film and TV industry. So I've worked on with different companies like BBC, Channel 4, Amazon Prime, and Apple TV. I've also specialized in production management for scripted and unscripted TV. So if you have an interest within this community, obviously, definitely speak to me. So I founded a company called Production World in 2022. So if you go to the next slide, please. So about Production World, it's basically a platform to help people get into the industry. When I walked into the doors of production, film and TV, I found that there wasn't many people like me. I didn't really see any young people there, especially of my ethnicity. I didn't really see many people there. So I was able to actually create a platform that helps people get access to opportunities within film and TV. Because the truth is, as you guys could see, all of those movies, you've seen them in cinema, right? But you don't really know who's behind the scenes. And that is what production is. Next one. So Yes, what we do in the production world, we host events, we help with job creation. So if you want to get into film and TV, we actually help partner some jobs with production companies and also with career development. A lot of times people don't know how to get into the industry. So we just created a platform where it's easier for you to get into the industry. Next one. We've also gone to universities. We go to universities. Anyone go to university here? George. Okay, so no one basically. I'm joking. I'm joking. Courtney, I see you. I saw you. So we go to universities. We've got some people that, obviously, we've got Becca there as well, many, very multifunctional. I also go to primary schools. I tell kids about, you can be an actor, you can be a director, And also I'm on social media posting different things in regards to getting into production. So help me with the next slide. Now, this is really important. Why did I create this community? I created this community because, as you can see, only 9% of the UK TV and film workforce is black, and also Asian and minority ethnic. As you can see, that makes up 18% of the UK population. So in short, there's not many opportunities given to people of certain ethnics anyway. So I just created this platform to help people understand that there is a possibility. I think there was one time I was working on a production and I was speaking to a female and she said to me, "Oh, it's taken me 7 years to get into the industry." The truth is with me, when I walked into the doors of production, it took me just a year. I'd come from working, I did a university degree in criminal justice. So you can imagine, how did I get from criminal justice all the way to film and TV? It was actually someone helped me create an opportunity to get into the door. So that is what we are focusing on doing for the community. So I'll go to my next slide, as I know I've only got 1 minute and Becca's winking at me. Now, so to join us basically. We have access to resources, as I've mentioned, career plans, mentorship, and industry tips. Participate. We do workshops, networking events, and also training sessions. Apply for some jobs. And next one, get involved in our projects. So I'm going to go quickly into the last bit, which I want to explain. If you go to the next slide. We are creating a podcast. How many people like podcasts here? Yeah, I absolutely love podcasts. So I'm actually creating a podcast project. So if you actually want to get involved and actually create a podcast with the production team, you can actually come up with an idea, create the plan, and make it happen, and then make it very popular. So yes, I want many people to join. But yeah, if you want to get involved in my community, holla at your girl. But next slide, please, so you can actually get the link to our socials. So if you actually scan the QR code, you can actually see that there's a link tree in regards to our Instagram, our LinkedIn, and also we have a WhatsApp group chat where I actually send jobs on a daily basis. And yeah, thank you all. Thank you.
Raise all your flags, lovers and aspirers, ENG, CNG, Wealth Union. Alright, let's do it.
Yeah, it's back. Yeah, it's back.
Yeah, it's back.
Yeah, facts, right?
Yeah, that's back.
Okay, you do you, but I'ma go my own way.
I'ma go my own way.
This is the first time I ever came to Wealth Union. I feel like that was when my life kind of changed.
You need to understand that the first nation that the word wants to take is you.
Back Nation is the home of greatness.
Family, are you ready for the word tonight? That power is over the churches and the families. It's a new season. You're going to rise and rise and rise and rise and rise forever. We bring you and we bring you again. Oh, mema, oh, mema. Hey, CNG, hey, ENG.
My name's Imani. I'm 16. I'm a singer. I came from creative culture, and I'm gonna sing a song called "Masterpiece" by Jasmine Sullivan. My eyes ain't used to these rays. I'm feeling exposed, but I can't hide no more. I can't hide. As the sun shines on all of my glory, my flaws don't look so bad at all. What was I so afraid of? Every part of me is a vision of a portrait of Mona, or Mona Lisa. Every part of me is beautiful, and I finally see it. I'm a work of art, a masterpiece. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Who is this I tried so long to find? Been in my head with lies that I'm not good enough. Then I heard something in my ears tell me I'm perfect. Now that I know the truth, time to show and prove. Every part of me is a vision of a portrait of Mona, or Mona Lisa. Oh, every part of me is beautiful, and I finally see it. I'm a work of art, a masterpiece. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And now I see the pretty colors of my canvas. I'm a work of art, I'm a Mona Lisa. I'll share my pretend with the world. I'm not afraid to let it show anymore. I can light the night, shine so bright, shine so bright. Mona Lisa, there is beauty in my eyes. Oh, shine so bright, Mona Lisa, but I can see it now. I believe it now. Mona Lisa, I can light the night. Shine so bright, shine so bright, Mona Lisa. I can light the night, shine so bright, Mona Lisa. I am beautiful, and every part of me is a vision of a portrait of Mona, oh, Mona Lisa. And every part of me is beautiful, and I finally see it. I'm a work of art, I'm a masterpiece.
ENG, make some more noise. Let me hear you guys. Yeah. You guys know I go off the energy. Do you know what, yeah? I was actually sitting down thinking about how amazing our the different communities that ENG is actually birthing. So to hear what Pastor Annabelle, why is everyone laughing? Can you guys stop? What is this? What is this? Amazing. Round of applause for the media graphics team. I love it. This is really the hot seat indeed. But my job is very, very simple today. I'm just going to be inviting some amazing people that I've actually met this weekend. Well, I've met before, but had a phenomenal conversation with them this weekend. This weekend, there was different communities that we had. So we had the Strong Girl community. Round of applause for Strong Girl. Who else was this Saturday? We had Social Changers this Saturday. We had the Guild this Saturday. We also had Creative Culture. And so I think when we're talking about birthing communities and birthing different things, this is what we do, So I just want to have a continued conversation with one of my friends that came to the Social Changers panel. He goes by the name of James. If we can get a round of applause, yep, keep it going. Fantastic. And I really want to get into this conversation because genuinely I was very inspired, and I think you actually, for me, James, do you know what it was? I thought, wow, we do these things for the likes of a James that can come through the door and share his story. So first of all, tell us how old you are, who you are, and kind of what you do, very briefly.
Yeah, so my name's James. I'm 17 years old. I'm from West London. I work for a local government in tech admin. I'm also care experienced. And yeah, man, obviously I came to Chris's event and I enjoyed myself. I got to speak to new people, network, what I'm trying to say. It was good. I enjoyed myself, man.
Love it. And for those that don't understand, what does care experience, what does that mean for those that don't understand what care experience is?
Care experience is, I don't know, really, it's kind of like, it's not just a young person that's been in the care system. I think it's someone that understands the system and has been put through certain trials and tribulations. I think someone can go into care from a young age and have a completely different experience to someone who's been in care for 2 weeks. So it's like, I'm not sure. I think it's just someone that's been in the system and understands it, I guess. Yeah.
And I think for me, something that you really hit home actually on the weekend was you spoke about where you are, but you also spoke about there's a lack of kind of leadership. Mm-hmm. And I think for us to really get into this conversation, and I know, it's not much time and this is the hot seat, but I really want us to try and understand something here. Talk about your experience being in care, talk about some of the difficulties, and talk about how you've actually overcame them.
I think a couple of the difficulties being in care is not being expected to do the most. I think when you're in care, people just expect you to just float and not succeed. So I think when you're given certain opportunities as a care experienced young person, I think you should take them straight away and make something of yourself and build your name in your council, because that's what it is. Obviously, me and Catherine will speak later on, but me and Catherine were given opportunities in our local council and we took it, and now we're working for the council. So I think it's hard. It's hard for young people because there's obviously there's not as many spots to be in that limelight. So I think you got to push yourself out there. But I think a lot of people in care are just dimmed out. Their light isn't shining. But obviously they just need someone to push them into that light, I think. But
Love it. Round of applause for that. So James, you talk about limelight shining. How do you stay relevant? How do you keep your light shining from your experience?
I think just listening to other young people and relating to other young people, because I feel like, especially in social work, as a social worker, I think it's hard to get to know your young person on a level where they trust you and they can speak to you about certain things, especially if you're older and you can't really relate to that young person. I think it's just being a role model, really. I think in me and Catherine's experience, we have social workers coming to us asking for our advice. And it's like, we didn't go to uni and do that degree. So it's like, we must have something to give those young people. And for us, it's like, I appreciate that a social worker is coming to us and actually trying to learn more about what young people might be going through in the care system. So I think, just keeping your name relevant is kind of just doing the most you can. You know what I'm trying to say? And when people start noticing that's when you start that's when you start leveling up, moving up, and doing what you love. You know what I'm trying to say?
I hear it. Thank you very much. And lastly from me, I guess if you could change one thing about the UK care system, again, from your experience, what would that one thing be and why?
I'd probably say post 18, and me and Catherine talk about this all the time. When you're 18, it's like, then what?
That's what we said on Saturday, really, isn't
then
it?
What? This is it, and it's like a lot of young people who aren't in the care system, who live with their parents, they can start working and they can start going into different, maybe entry-level jobs. They might start college and they don't have to worry about where they're going to be in the next year. I mean, I'm 17. I'm thinking about, where am I going to be in the next 6-7 months? It's like, it's a stressful thing for a young person to have on their head. And I think the post-18 kind of development that councils are doing doesn't seem to be, I'm trying to say, especially housing, especially getting into the workforce. I think there needs to be a lot more support for people who are turning 18. And 18 and beyond. I know people that are 22, 23, not in education, not in employment, and it's like, how are we going to let someone just float like that? You know what I'm trying to say? So, yeah, man.
And what would you say? What's next for you then, James? Lastly, what's next for you?
Yeah, so I spoke about this on Saturday. I want to be a social worker myself.
Round of applause. I love this. Love this. Woo! We need more social workers that actually look like you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah, go on.
100%. Yeah, I want to be a social worker. I think that I've got a lot to offer in that field. Obviously, I've had experience with working with the youth, and I think that seeing the little differences that I have made in such a short time, I think I could thrive in that field of work. No, 100%, right? 100%.
I need you on my team. Like, Catherine, that's a supporter right there. I love it. Thank you very much, James. Round of applause for James. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Next up, let me invite my friend Catherine. Catherine, come to the stage. Come to the stage. Woo, woo, woo. I love it. I love it. Thank you very much. Round of applause. One more time. Catherine, make some noise. Woo! This right here, let me just let you know, right? I think, Catherine, and I was telling you actually on Saturday that you're actually a leader.
Oh, thanks.
And I say you're a leader because some of the leaders don't have to be perfect, right? You've been through certain experiences, but you have the mindset and you know where you're going and you're confident in that. Now, that's leadership for me, right? So just tell us briefly who you are, how old you are, and what you do.
Well, hi, everyone. I'm Catherine. I was going to say 19, but I just turned 20, so I'm 20. Yeah, I'm also care experienced. I went into foster care when I was 11, so I spent all of my teenage years going through the care system. And then, yeah, I now also work for the council. I run sessions for kids in care and kids with trauma to get them off of the streets, get them involved in activities so that they don't have to go through the same trials and tribulations that James and I did. So, yeah.
So when you work with those young people, what do you really like? What's your message to them? What do you say to them?
That it's actually never too late to start anything. I know people that have only done their social work degree now and they're in their 40s, and that's completely fine. There's people that go to university in their 50s and 60s and change careers completely. Like, you can decide at any point to change what you're doing if you feel like it's not suitable. And for most of these young people, it's just actually knowing that they're good enough. Like, as a child, I was constantly told that I wasn't good enough. I was constantly given bad feedback. And growing up, that had an impact on me. I became my own worst critic and I was giving myself bad feedback. So now that I have to work through that, I don't want these young people to have to do all of the years of healing that I had to do. I'd rather them just have the support from the beginning and be able to, just get yourselves going and go into the world.
I love that. So I guess in regards to coping strategies, obviously you said you've been in care since 11, and I can only but imagine you've had to develop a lot of different coping strategies, a lot of different things to kind of help you to survive. Let's be very real, What piece of advice would you tell a 11-year-old Catherine how to cope all the way up until they're 18, post-18, realistically?
To not be afraid to ask for help. I think when you grow up very independent and you're used to doing a lot of things on your own, you feel like you have to do everything on your own. And there's a lot of times when I was younger and help was available, I feel like I should have actually gone and gotten the help. And hindsight is a beautiful thing because obviously as you get older, you always think, there's so many things that I would have changed. But if I could go back in time, I'd just shake myself and be like, listen, you have so much time to do all of these things. You're so capable, just do it. Like, I think I was always so scared about what my friends would think. My friends like, they're doing their own thing now. I'm also doing my own thing now. None of us cared. Like, for example, picking your GCSEs based on what your friends are doing. Yeah, that works for now while you're sitting in the class, but in the future, are you really going to be doing something that you want to do, or are you just following what your friends are doing? So I feel like always be yourself and continue using the resources available to you, like James did. But sorry, I know James had his bit in the hot seat, but he didn't sell himself as much. He's only been in care for a year, and he has done so much transformation. You could put any young person in a situation where they need to transform, but you can take a horse to water, you can't make it drink. James would not be here if it wasn't for him. He blames me, but I didn't pick him up by himself and drag him here. He's the one that chooses to make connections. As long as you're the person that goes out into the world and you're willing to talk to anyone and everyone, you can't go wrong. The worst that someone can tell you is no.
Oh, Pastor Catherine, I'm blessed. One last thing.
I feel like I waffled a bit there.
No, I love it. I love it. One last thing. If you could change one thing about the UK care system again, what would that be? And why?
I'll try and pick something different to James. I think the opportunities to come out of the care system, I think a lot of the times people's families can be worked with and people's families can be led to change. I don't think that care should be a last resort. I think that not just because you've put a young person in care doesn't mean that their family will never change or that their situation could never get better. There are some young people that go into care extremely young. You don't know what will change in 10 years. If you're only 2 years old and you're now 12, so many things could have changed. And it's quite difficult as well to know, like for a lot of young people that are in care, if your families then go on to have more children, that can be really burdening. Like you can feel like, oh wow, but it's not necessarily that your parents didn't care about you. Well, it's often never that your parents didn't care about you. They just weren't ready at the time. So I feel like we do need to give more families the opportunity to present themselves when they're ready. Because it's important to have family involvement. Like I live an adult life without my biological family, but James, that's my brother. Like that's still family. I still need people around me for community. And for people in care, they often don't have that. So I feel like it is important to still be able to work with families and try and integrate them.
Love that, love that. Round of applause for Catherine. Catherine, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure having you. Thank you very much. I think, guys, as we round up today, I think it's really, really important to understand that we are building communities here. Lives are actually being transformed. You know, when I walked through the doors of, Nation Family, the Elite Islington at the time, 8 years ago now, I look at where we were 8 years ago to now. Literally, lives are transformed on a day-to-day basis. But that was because I made a decision to remain. So I think you're in the right place. ENG is a fertile, very, very fertile ground, guys. There's a lot of communities here. So I would just encourage us to stay plugged in and stay consistent. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Good evening, ENG. I'll be speaking on behalf of the beauty community within ENG. First of all, I'd like to greet everyone in the room. I'm Pastor Hannah. While we get the presentation up, actually, I believe a video is going to be playing first. So this video will basically just show a bit about what the beauty community is about. This is one of our members from last year. She joined last year after one of our events, and she's kind of just stuck in ever since. We're looking forward to one of our future events that are coming up this year, but she's just giving a review about how she found last year's event.
Originate, we come for originate.
That's
All
not
right,
the video.
mate. Stop gassing, mate. What the...
Hey guys, my name's Julia and I'm a hairstylist from Southeast London, also known as Hood Hairstylist.
Okay, if the
you
video
don't
can't
know,
play,
now you know.
I will just go
Last
ahead.
year I was able to have the opportunity to showcase my creative styles
It'll
in
be
the
great
Glow
if you could
Cement,
see her.
working alongside a lovely, lovely, lovely group of girls. This year I'm hoping to have the opportunity to broaden my horizon and Hey guys, my name's Julia and I'm a hairstylist from Southeast London, also known as Hood Hairstylist. If you don't know it, now you know.
Last year, I was able to have the opportunity to showcase my creative styles in the Glow Summit, working alongside a lovely, lovely, lovely group of girls. This year, I'm hoping to have the opportunity to broaden my horizon and network with amazing people, creating an amazing team, and be able to showcase more ideas. I'm hoping that this year I'm able to showcase all my new skills and all my new styles and all my new talents, which will then enable me to get into rooms I never thought that I could imagine.
Get invited to, let's say, the PR events for beauticians. So we decided to start creating our own events. If you can go to the next slide, please. Next slide, please. So I'm going to run through this because I don't have a lot of time. So I just did a little about me and as well our community. So about me, my name is Pastor Hannah, or I am Pastor Hannah, like I said. From the age of 18, I had my first beauty business. I was just working as a freelance MUA. I was doing makeup for different people. I would do it for like aunties after parties and stuff, or before parties. I would do it at different ceremonies, maybe even before church as well. So then I started working as a freelance MUA from Ireland. So I would do makeup just going around from different at different events. Then when I came into the family, through leadership, I was actually supported to start my own business. That was the Beauty Lab, so I started at 21. Within the Beauty Lab, we had 5 different other businesses come together to create one big business. So we had people that were doing eyelashes, we had a nail technician, we had a masseuse, we had different fields within the beauty industry working together. And within that as well, we then went on to start our salon. We had a salon in Canary Wharf, which we ran for a year, then lockdown happened. Going on from that, we had the Blacksmith & Sons. So I worked as the project manager for Blacksmith & Sons for over a year and a half. From that, I launched the Barber to Barber community. Again, within the beauty community, we don't necessarily see a lot of unity. You don't necessarily see a lot of people coming together to focus and push one thing. So what I did was start the barbering, male grooming community, because I think it was more prominent within guys as well. They don't really like to work together. I think it's very competitive as well. So we started the male grooming community, and we had hundreds and hundreds of barbers in the city of London. So we did an event in Hyde Park. We had hundreds of barbers, people from barbers from across Europe, some of them in Mayfair as well, just being able to network and speak to a lot of different people within the male grooming industry as well. Going on from that, I now have Innovair London, which is a luxury hairstyling business where we sell raw hair and also lace replacement systems. I've also got Dive Agency, which is a modeling agency, which you'll be able to hear about in a little bit if they give me a bit more time. And then we've got the Innovair Hair Show, which we launched last year, which is another platform for a lot of hair creatives where they were able to actually showcase their skills, showcase their talents again. And we had a huge variety of different hairstylists coming together. They got to create their own collections and really express their own creativity. If you can go to the next slide, please. Okay, so this is just an overview of some of our previous projects. So the first one was the male grooming community, which you'll see at the top. That is, at the top is Champs Barbers. He's a barber in Mayfair. He's a huge barber. He works with the likes of Floyd Mayweather and so many other celebrities as well. In the middle, we had like the male grooming podcast, where we have a variety of different barbers which came together across the UK to start a podcast and just speak about the challenges within the male grooming community. Then that's another picture from the Barber to Barber event. Then the second set is just pictures from the hair show. So these are some of the creative ideas that a lot of the hairstylists came through with for the event. If you can go to the next one. And the bottom is just Dive Agency. That's some of the models that we had at the previous fashion show. So I think within the community, before I get into this slide, within the community, what you'll be able to see within the beauty community is that we actually are able to create a platform, not just for the beauticians, but for a lot of different industries. I think Pastor Annabelle was speaking previously, but within the beauty community and the family, we've been able to actually create platforms for creatives as well. Through a lot of the events that we've been able to do, we've also created platforms for the production community as well. So I think the beauty community is not only the most prominent community within the family, but also the most lucrative because of how much we're actually able to support other people. And I think over the years, we've been able to support thousands and thousands of creatives. So I'll just go into our future project very quickly because I know time is up. So our future project, we do have our upcoming summit, which is a beauty summit, which will hold thousands and thousands. I believe last year we had over 6,000 people. This year we're aiming for 10,000 people, where we will... And within the Beauty Summit, we'll have a variety of different beauticians, again, different beauty stores, where different people like myself, like yourselves, will be able to speak about the beauty industry and also what they're doing within their businesses. If you can go to the last slide, please. Sorry, guys, that I'm running through this. I don't have any more time. Okay, so these are some of the incentives of joining our community. So you'll be able to network with a lot of beauty leaders and other beauty SMEs, discounts on board beauty businesses, access to exclusive events, support with your personal growth and business. As much as your business is very important, we're also very concerned about your own personal development and growth. Go next. This one, last one. Next one. Okay, the QR code is not there. So we did have a QR code, but if you do want to join the community or you have a friend that wants to join the community, just message me or speak to me after service and we'll add them to the group. Thank you all.
ENG, good evening. So I'm here to do ENG talks. The title of this talk, I was actually thinking about it when I was sitting down, and I didn't know what I was actually going to share because I can speak for days when it comes to things with sports. But the title for the title for my talk today is called Consistency Over Perfection. So just to introduce myself, my name is Pastor David, also known as Coach David. I'm the head of strategy for everything to do with sports within the Nation family, SPAC Nation. And I also lead one community and one organization. Community, which is Basketball Nation, and sports organization, which is Nation Sports Association, which is also known as NSA, which is easier to kind of like say. So basically, just to start, so obviously 16-year-old David, living in like a low socioeconomic environment, Shepherd's Bush, which is, a lot of people don't know Shepherd's Bush has that part, but it does. Obviously playing basketball, wanted to be with friends, chasing girls, doing all sorts. You guys are, let me finish, let me land. Obviously doing all sorts. And then obviously I'm into sports. When you're like 16, 15, you're into sports, you just want to play sports, like you could play for hours. So, but then there comes a fee with that. So when you try to play indoors, especially when it comes to basketball, you're paying £10, you're paying £15, £7. At that age, you've just maybe come into the UK a few years ago, and you're having to pay £10 to play 20 minutes. Some people don't have that funds. So naturally, over the years, I always wanted to work in fashion, and sports was also one of my passions as well. And 2014, I came into the Nation family, and then I met leadership, Pastor Toby, and everything kind of changed for me from then. I think a lot of the things that I thought I was going to be didn't actually come to realization. I actually started doing things that were better than what I thought I was going to be. And when I came into connection with like being able to start a sports community, it was actually by mistake, because I actually met some younger guys who ended up playing against, booked a call for them, and then it just became a thing over the years. So it's 2022 to now, we've been having sessions every week for young athletes that we've never ever charged. So it's always been free for 3 hours. But over time, there was things that kind of stopped us, and like kind of stopped us from like really kind of like developing and actually engaging with the community. But then what we actually did is that obviously with having leadership around it, which is quite key and important, allowed me to understand, okay, if something isn't working, how can I kind of like scale it up? What can I do differently to actually engage with the community? And then from just doing basketball, we ended up starting doing podcasting. We also have a media side of the sports space where we actually go to games. So last year we went to Team USA when they came into London and actually watched and took pictures and videos with some of our team of like all your superstars from basketball, LeBron James, Steph Curry, etc. But that allowed us to kind of build new skills and engage with the larger community of sports. So now we have connections within the sports space when it comes to people within like federations in Germany, federations in Greece, that we can now connect with younger athletes here who want to make it out there as a professional player. But the whole essence of sports is really not just to just be a part of community. It's actually beyond that. So what we actually do within our communities is using sports as a tool to actually show athletes that there's more beyond that. So the podcast that I do is really to speak with people that were athletes but now doing greater things within the community and within the world as well. And that's something that we sort of created over time. And now we have about 4 guys, young guys, working with us, all 17-year-olds as well. And they want to do the same thing. So we actually empowered some of them to actually even run their first ever football session through the NSA, gave them the money to book the pitch, and also give out to their own players as well. But I know I don't have enough time, so you guys come and speak to me after. But this is some of the videos of, obviously, the basketball community. You see some of the tournaments that we did last year. We did a football tournament last year where we gave away £3,000 to the winning team. We had 42 teams, 3,000 people in attendance for our first ever one. And this year is actually going to be a lot bigger as well and is in the works as well. So that's one of our future plans that we're actually going to be doing. This was myself and Richard. You see him here today. He's actually on his way, where we went to different schools within the West London borough, where I grew up, giving back to a lot of these guys as well that actually love basketball. So one of the things that I would say that was quite key for me was staying consistent, not really looking to be perfect at something, but really staying consistent over time. If something was to knock me down or something didn't work, I always try to find a way to get over that hurdle, and then the next hurdle, and then the next hurdle, constantly seeking knowledge, constantly seeking leadership and getting advice from leadership, my mentor, Pastor Toby, and listening to him and actually putting it into practice and actually kept elevating myself to the point now that we're doing certain things. I even forgot to mention. So in terms of that consistency and scaling up, so even this year I've applied for to do a short course at Harvard Business School as well in June. And for me, I think that's it's not just for myself, it's for also showing the young guys within the community that, okay, I may not make it in sports, I may not be good at school, but then there's still something else that I can still do to better myself as well and to be great. So that's pretty much, so I just use myself as a template for those guys to actually see and just keep going that way. So that's it. Thank you.
Good evening, ENG. My name is Pastor Leah, and we are Music Nation, and we're going to be singing a song for you today. I would ask that if you do know the lyrics, please do sing along with us, and hopefully you enjoy. I close my eyes to see my King in majesty. Your grace compels my soul to love and drawing close. I lift my hands and sing. I surrender everything. Where I go, you've been before, and all my trust is in you, Lord. Now until forever, Yeshua, I surrender. Show me what I don't know, more I'm desperate for your presence, longing to be with you. Lead me to a new place, more of you. Now until forever, Yeshua, I surrender. Show me what I don't know, more of you. I'm desperate for your presence, longing to lead me to a new place, more of you. Oh, through the fire, I'll persevere. I won't submit to any fear.
You've been before.
Oh, and all my trust is in you. Now until forever, Yeshua, I surrender. Show me what I don't know, more of you. I'm desperate for your presence, longing to be with you. Lead me to a new place, more of you. Oh, say, lead me to you. Forever, Lord, forever, Lord, I will pursue. Yeah, you've won my heart. Yeshua, you're all that I want. Oh, lead me to you. Forever, Lord, I will pursue. I will pursue. Oh, you've won my heart. Yeshua, you're all that I want. All that I want.
ENG, are we in the building? No, you can do better than that. ENG, are we in the building? Okay, we're getting there. Let me try it one more time. ENG, are we in the building? Okay, now that I know that you're here, of course, tonight is titled The Network, and what an inspiring service it has been so far. I'll do a quick rundown of what we've heard so far. But of course, before I do that, let me start off by greeting all those that are in the building. So if you've made your way down this evening, good afternoon or good evening to yourselves. So give yourselves a round of applause for making it. Of course, I greet all the leaders in the building, my co-leaders, Pastor Hannah and Pastor Claudette, I greet you. Of course, we have head of the guild in the building, Pastor Genevieve. Head of strategy for social. Yeah, I've even. It's for safeguarding. No, it's because I keep hearing social changes, so I'm just thinking social. Well, of course, head of strategy for safeguarding, Pastor Chris. We also have the head of strategy for sports, who you just heard from, Pastor David. Of course, not with us at the moment, but of course, our leader, head of the elite family, Pastor Nikki. Assistant and senior pastor, Pastor Obi and Pastor Sam. And then, of course, our mother and our father, Pastor Lucy and Pastor Toby. Now that I've got the greetings out of the way, of course, I'll do a rundown of the service, what we've seen so far. And I think it's been exciting. It's been very inspiring. So, of course, we started off with the greeting or the introduction of the service from Sarah, which was very, very good. I learned a little bit of French. Pastor Daniel, if you could help me with the other one for the keys. but I'm sure you'll find it. Of course, then we then had a lovely performance from Rumi, I believe. And that was inspiring. It's always inspiring to see all the great artists that come from creative culture every single week in, week out. Of course, I'm always there on Saturday. And this Saturday, funnily enough, we had a special guest performance from Pastor Rebecca. So make some noise for Pastor Rebecca. If you haven't seen it, don't worry, I will share the official audio, because I know I sent it without the audio. Pastor Rebecca, who's supposed to be taking the private equity space, just decided that actually she was supposed to be a singer. But so that was interesting. Of course, we then had the community pitches. We had the community pitch from, of course, Pastor Annabelle and the creatives. Make some noise. Pastor Annabelle, very, very exciting pitch. I'm a creative at heart, so you already know that I'm part of that community. And if you missed that, actually, we just had pictures of all the different communities that we had in ENG today. Not all of them, but just a few. And then, of course, we had a community pitch from Pastor Nikke and the production community. And then, of course, we had a pitch from Pastor Hannah and the beauty community. Maybe you can shout and let me know what your favorite community was. I'm hearing the creators. Okay, I'm hearing you. Becca said finance, and I think that's something we'll hear next week. And then, of course, we had the hot seat segment by Pastor Chris. And it was inspiring hearing both of the young people that came up, your stories. And to be honest, it's been inspiring to hear you since Saturday, because I believe you was both at the Social Changes event this Saturday, which deserves another round of applause. And then, of course, we had the ENG talks from Pastor David, which once again was very, very inspiring to see his transition and his journey. You know, every single one of us are actually on a journey. We're all on a transition period. You know, we're all just trying to figure out, and I think I always say this, we're all figuring out who we are supposed to be. You know, I was hearing the young gentleman speaking with Pastor Chris. If you can just increase that a little bit for me, Pastor Daniel. I was hearing the young gentleman speaking on the hot seat, James, and he was saying, I think it was the last question, something that they can actually help, or something that's better for the social system. And he actually mentioned that when people get to the age of 18, you know, when the social system finishes, if only there was more things there that can help young people, because at 18, a young person doesn't really know who they are. You know, and it's like they've been in a system for so long, and now they're being thrown out into the system called the world. And now they've got to start finding their feet again. Now they've got to fend for themselves. I don't know exactly how the system works in the care system, but maybe the support they was getting, they're no longer getting. Now they're on their own. And you know, that's the story for many, many people. Not just people in the social system, but people in this system in general. You know, we go through schooling system. You know, we go from primary school to secondary school, all the way up to uni maybe. You know, so at secondary school, a young individual is now trying to figure out who they're supposed to be, because they've just been taught algebra. And you see, the issue with being taught algebra doesn't actually show you who you're supposed to be. You know, maybe they made you learn science, but you don't want to be a scientist. So many young people are confused. Many young people just decide to go to uni. You know, maybe your parents actually pushed you to pick a uni course and you didn't really want to do it, but your parents just thought this is what you should do. So you now go on a journey for 3 years in university, doing something that maybe you don't actually want to do. And because you've actually been doing it for so long, you just settle. You just settle and say, it's too late for me to now start and try and chase my dreams. Maybe you wanted to be a professional footballer. Maybe you wanted to be something, and it's looking like it's becoming too late. But what I've come to tell you this evening is that it's not too late to chase your dreams. It's not too late to identify or find out who you really want to be. You know, that's what the world tells us. You see, the world have a system. And, this is going to get into my first scripture. So if a Pastor Faith can actually begin to read my scripture, and I won't take a lot of time this evening. I've got a very short message. But Pastor Faith, if you can read that scripture for me. And there's going to be a lot of reading. I hope you guys don't mind reading. I hope you don't mind hearing from the Bible.
Ephesians 6 from verse 7 in the NIV. Serve wholeheartedly as if you were serving the Lord, not people, because you know that the Lord will reward each one for whatever good they do, whether they are a slave or free. And masters, treat your slaves in the same way. Do not threaten them, since you know that he is both their master and yours is in heaven. There is no favoritism with him. Finally, be strong in the Lord and his mighty power.
So you can see here it says, finally, be strong in the Lord. You see, it doesn't say be strong in your degree. It doesn't say be strong in your parents maybe. Because the issue is there were so many things that we was told to be strong in. Maybe be strong in the schooling system. But many of us were strong in that. Many of us put our hope and ambitions in those things, and we've seen the results. If you can continue reading, Pastor Faith. So it says here, be strong in the Lord. Be strong in the word. That's what we understand in this family. That's where we draw strength. That's where we put everything on, is the word. Because we understand that the system of the world or the things of the world can actually fail us. But the one thing that never fails and that hasn't failed any of us is the word. Is the Lord. That's the one thing that won't fail you. So maybe the care system can fail you, but you see the word cannot fail you. The word is something that people have been strong in since the beginning of time, because it says, in the beginning was the word, and the word was with God. So continue, Pastor Faith.
Finally, be strong in the Lord and his mighty power. Put on the full armor of God, so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes.
So here it says, take your stand against the devil's scheme. It says, put on the armor, the breastplate. And what is the armor? It is the word. So what do we arm ourselves with every single Monday? What do we arm ourselves with every single Thursday? It's the word. Because we understand that's the only thing that we will find strength in. That's the only thing that will allow us to fight this war or this battle that we call life. Pastor Faith, if you can read the definition of system. If you read the last bit of that scripture one more time, and then you read the definition.
Put on the full armor of God, so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes.
So here it says, so you can take your stand against the devil's schemes, because I think later on in scripture it will say that we do not wrestle with flesh or blood, but we wrestle against systems. We wrestle against principalities. So sometimes in our lives it looks like we're in a constant fight, but we can't identify what we're fighting. You're wondering, why is life such a struggle? Why is everything so difficult for me? And you're looking at and you just can't put your finger on what the problem is. But today we're actually going to figure out, and we're going to identify the main thing that we are fighting against. So in that scripture it says, we fight against the devil's schemes. And so if you can read the definition of that for me, Pastor Faith.
Scheme definition. A scheme refers to a structured framework or protocol that defines how data is organized.
So it says here, a scheme is a structured framework. So you see, school is a framework. 9 to 5 is a framework. And you see what these things are or have been created to do is to keep us small. These things have been decided or have been created to keep us small. So what do we fight against? We fight against these systems. We fight against these structures. And how do we fight against these structures? And that's what we're here to introduce to you today, is the network. Because if we're going to fight existing systems, we can only fight it with an alternative system. So every single Monday, when I'm preaching on a Monday, or a Pastor Toby's preaching on a Thursday, or a Pastor Nikki's preaching on a Tuesday, all we're doing is we're giving you an alternative system. A system that you can actually be strong in, because it says be strong in the word, or put your strength in the Lord. You can put your strength in this alternative system. So what we're actually creating is a network that actually begins to help many more people across the world. Of course, we're starting with London. We're just saying that we're going to create a network of communities that will begin to actually help usher in a new generation of young people. A network of communities, from a social changes to an NSA to a production world where young people can come and actually find their purpose. That's what the network is for. So on a Saturday, you can see a social changes operating. If you can read the definition of network for me, Pastor Faith.
Scheme, network definition. A scheme refers to a structured framework or protocol that defines how data is organized, transmitted, or managed within a network.
Do you have the other definition of network? I believe it was the last one I sent to you. Oh, it still says a scheme referred. Okay, cool. So, and this is what I was saying about we have to have an alternative system. An alternative, our own system that actually fights against the principalities that we're talking about. But Pastor Faith, if you can continue reading that.
A scheme refers to a structured framework.
If you can go back to the scripture now. Because what I'm just trying to show you is I'm trying to introduce this because, of course, over the next couple of weeks and months, we'll really begin to show you the network and what the network mentorship program is all about. Because what we're saying is that we're ready to actually mentor the next generation. So every single individual that comes through these doors can actually be partnered up with a leader, a mentor, someone in their space, someone that has gone before them. So if you're an up-and-coming musician, of course there is a Pastor Leah and the creative culture, and what her job is to give you an alternative to what the music industry has given you, because you might be a musician and you're trying to make it, but it seems difficult. But what Pastor Leah is doing with the creative culture is creating an alternative system. You know, Pastor Leah is also a part of the network. And you see, with any network, there has to be a connecting point. And what's our own connecting point? It's the word. That's the connecting point. That's what we're connecting people with. Because it can't be anything else but the word. You know, when we hear from a Pastor David and he's talking about his story, how he came from a shepherd's bush, you know, and he was doing all manner of things. And, you know, permit me to speak about Pastor David very, very briefly. But he was, I think, later on in life, I say later on in life, so I don't want to call him old. But later, I'm not Pastor Hannah. But later on in life, he will actually encounter a Pastor Toby. You see, the issue or the beauty with the word, it doesn't matter how old you are. You can encounter the word at any given moment. And if you encounter this word, it doesn't care if you're 10, if you're 15, or if you're 30. You know, everyone can actually find their purpose in the word. So Pastor David is able to encounter the word at 30. You know, one might think that's too old, or maybe time is up. But the word is actually saying that if you're willing, I can use you. I can show you who you're supposed to be. Now, a Pastor David can speak about how he was able to have 3,000 people, how he's able to impact 3,000 people. You know, how he's able to now create a community of up-and-coming basketballers, a community of up-and-coming footballers. He's actually able to find his purpose. He's able to find his function because he was able to connect himself to the word. So, Pastor Faith, if you can continue with the scripture.
Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes.
So it says put on your full armor of God, because that's the only thing that we use here. You know, we don't rely on the world system. We don't rely on the world's information. We've seen many people try it and fail. But you see, with this word, we've seen a Pastor Toby been able to come here and for 20 years advance, every single year getting better and better. We've seen somebody that has tested or trialed the word. And what we're just saying is that there is a perfect example. There's 20 years worth of evidence, 20 years worth of faith. Continue, Pastor Faith.
For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Therefore, put on the full armor of God, so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground. And after you have done everything to stand, stand firm then, with the belt of truth buckled around your waist, with the breastplate of righteousness in place, and with your feet fitted with the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace.
So here it speaks about the gospel of peace. It speaks about the good news called peace. That's what we're going out into our communities and actually preaching. So when a Pastor Leah or a Pastor Chris is going out into their own respective communities, what they're just doing is they're spreading the gospel. They're spreading the good news. So when a James is actually a part of a social changes or working with the social changes, what their job is to do is to spread the good news according to social changes, according to their own industry. Because like you said, there are many, many people that haven't, or many people that have had negative experiences. But the only way that we counteract the bad side of social work is by raising leaders like the two of you, like the James and the Catherine. You know, if the more you guys can speak and the more people can hear you, the more people that have gone through what you're going through or have gone through can actually be impacted. So they don't have to have a negative experience in the care system because you guys have decided to rise. You guys have decided to say that actually another generation of people won't fall victim to the social work system. And not only that, you're actually going to create your own system. You're going to create an alternative system. A system that speaks or thinks of the aftercare. It just doesn't think of ticking a box, because what happens with the systems that we encounter, they're simply just made to tick a box. But you guys actually care. You actually have a love for people. You're actually saying that nobody should experience this. You know, everyone has a right to be loved. Everyone has a right to have family. Everyone has a right to really go through life and become what they're supposed to be. Everyone should have the equipment, the resources to go and achieve what they need to. That's what you guys are saying. That's what the message that Social Changes is actually saying every Saturday when they meet. So they're not meeting to tick a box. They're not meeting because of a salary. They're meeting because they have genuine care and compassion for people. So much so that a James can come there and he can begin to speak to social people in the social work system. So much so that he can now come to an ENG on a Monday and speak to other people. That's what we do. We create platforms. So when we're allowing, or not allowing, but when we're creating platforms for the likes of Imani and other people to come and sing, we're just saying that here is a platform to prosper. Here is a platform to actually exhibit who you are. Because everyone deserves the basics or the basic ability to express who they're supposed to be. And that's what ENG is, and that's what all the network churches are. So of course we have an ENG, but there is a network of churches. And we have a network here that we're saying that we're not just going to stop at church. We're going to create many communities that young people can come through. So all throughout this week and next week and this month, to be honest, what we're doing is we're going out on a campaign, and we're going on a campaign to make sure that we're spreading the good news to the world. We're making sure that we're reaching people. We're making sure that these Mondays are no less than 100 people. So when we sit here and we do these Mondays, we're actually standing firm. We're standing firm on the conviction that we've been given to grow ENG. That's what we're standing firm on. So every single week that we come here on a Monday, we're just standing firm. We're saying that we are here and ready to confirm the calling that our leader and father, Pastor Toby, has given us. So we owe it to ourselves, and not only ourselves, but we owe it to our community to make sure that next week, by the time we come back here, there's 100 people. Because how is it that a Connie is going to be a global superstar? Or how is it that a Taiwo is going to be a global superstar? It's by mobilization. If they can learn how to mobilize and how we can mobilize 100%, because we can wait for the world to help us, or we can help ourselves. We can create our own platform and mobilize this room to make sure that we have 100, and from 100 we get to 1,000, and from 1,000 we get to 10,000, and from 10,000 we get to 100,000. That's how we create our own platform. So you won't have to rely on a Sony or an Apple to sign you. No, because you will have your own audience. But that audience starts from this ground. It starts from mobilizing this room. So everyone's prosperity actually lies in the instructions that we are given. And the instruction we've been given as the third generation is mobilization, is the mobilization of people. So that's what I'm charging every single individual in this room today, as we get ready for next week, is that we're going to be on a mobilization campaign. We're going to be on a soul-winning campaign. Because, like I mentioned, there's still many more young people that we need to reach. There's a whole generation of people that are waiting to hear this word. There are more Connies out there. There are more Sarahs out there. There are more Pastor Georges out there that just need to encounter this word. And when they encounter this word, they will be able to function. And we can really profess the change that we've been speaking about in our community. We can really raise the next generation of leaders like we've been commissioned to do by our leader, Pastor Toby. So what I'm charging every single individual in this room for next week is to bring 5 people. It's a small target, but every single week we're going to keep increasing that target. Like I mentioned, 5 people, then we're going to get to 10 people, 50 people. Because if you can mobilize 5 people here, there's no reason why you can't mobilize to fill out the O2. You know, we went to Connie's show yesterday, and it was amazing. Round of applause for Connie. And she sang very, very well. Yeah, give her a round of applause. But you know, I was just thinking, you see this room, all Connie has to do is plug herself in an ENG. If a Connie can plug herself in an ENG and hold hands with a Pastor Leah and really build creative culture, there will be no need for her to be looking for gigs to perform at, because she would have been a stakeholder in a creative culture where they gather 500 people. You know, if a Connie and everyone at Creative Culture can come together and they can work and really mobilize people, they can have their own shows. They can sing to as many people as they like, but that first starts from contracting the mobilization spirit. You see, revival. I don't know if Pastor Faith has the definition of revival, but we'll read the definition of revival. But revival speaks of actually, it's warfare. It's actually reaching many people. So that's what we're actually introducing ourselves to, is a new revival. And that's what PT has said. We've now entered a season called revival. But if you can read it for me, and I'll close there.
Revival definition: an improvement in the condition, strength, or fortunes of someone or something.
Mm-hmm. So here it speaks about the improvement. If you read it again.
An improvement in the condition, strength, or fortunes of someone or something.
So every single person that's coming here is actually coming to be improved. And that's what the job of the word is to do. So a Connie, as she comes in and listens to the word, or a Sarah, as they're listening to the word, they're actually being revived. They're actually being improved. So you can go out into your community and impact others. And that's what every single person should be catching. And as the people encounter the revived version of yourself, other people can also be improved. Other people can be revived. They can be better. So what is the job of a social changes, or what are social changes doing? They are improving. They are reviving the social work or the safeguarding industry. You know, what is the job of a production world? They are reviving, they are improving the film and TV industry. What is the job of an NSA? They are causing a revival in the sports and entertainment, or sports world. They're actually causing a revival there. They are improving. What is the job of a creative culture? They are causing a revival in the music space. They are improving. And I think that's where I'm just going to round up this week. Like I mentioned, of course, next week we have another target, 5 people each. We want to see everyone active. Of course, it's the half term, so we're going to be out. We're going to be active. I believe we have football on Friday. Every single community making sure that their community have 10 people. Making sure every single community is active. Every community is out winning souls, because we are in a heavy souls mobilization period. And we're not just doing it for no reason. We just don't want to gather people for the sake of it. Like I mentioned, we're actually gathering people so we can create leaders, so they can identify the true version of themselves. So of course, all the leaders will be contacting every single individual. Of course, your mentor will be messaging you, and they'll be seeing how they can begin to transform your life. They're actually going to be paying keen interest and attention to the things that you want to achieve. So that's going to be running all throughout the month of April, and we're just going to be trialing that out and seeing how everyone develops, seeing how we can create the next leaders in the music space, the next leaders in the football or the sports and entertainment world. And that's just what we're going to be doing. We're actually going to be paying keen attention to our community, but it first starts with the one or the two. It first starts with ourselves as an individual. We first start with ourselves and how we can master ourselves, because I think PT was saying last week is that if you can master, I'm quoting, I'm paraphrasing, if you can master yourself, you can master the world. No one that hasn't mastered themselves can master the world. So that's what everyone is doing. You're actually paying keen attention to your growth. And how do you pay attention to your growth? You're making sure that you're in the Word. And when I say in the Word, you might be new, you're wondering, what is that? It's that you're listening to SoundCloud, you're listening to the Word. Because it says, obviously, faith comes from hearing. So, and what do we hear? It's the Word of God. So every single time that we're listening to preaching, every time that we're listening to a Pastor Toby preach or a Pastor Nikki or whoever is preaching, our faith is actually being built. So that's our own measurement of growth, or that's our own curriculum. In the outside world, they have school. And school is to teach you how to pass or how to get good grades. But you see, what the Word is to do is to actually teach you to become who It's SoundCloud that I'm referring to. So we're going to make sure that everyone is listening to our own curriculum, which is the Word. Making sure that everyone is participating in our curriculum, which is, of course, seed and souls. So that's winning people. Making sure that we're mobilizing and getting our 5 or our 10. We actually want to see who's going to be the first new ENG member to mobilize 10 people. And then who's going to be the first ENG member to have their own community. But, of course, like I mentioned, I'm going to round up here. Of course, and hand over to Pastor Genevieve. But I hope you've all been blessed by the word. Thank you.
Yes, let's keep going. Let's keep going. I love it. More energy, more energy, more energy. Thank you very much. Yes, ENG. That word, it was short but sweet. And what I'm going to say something. I need you to say it back to me. Yeah? Is everybody all right? Stay mobilized. Stay mobilized. You see, the beauty of the word is that when you add belief to the word, it can actually come true. So when Apostle Safari is up here and he's speaking to a Connie and he's saying that if you plug into this community and you learn the spirit or you get the spirit of mobilization, what stops you from filling an O2 arena? Does that make sense? If you're looking at, somebody scream out their industry. Beauty, right? If a Pastor Hannah joins her faith and belief into this word, she can build the world's biggest beauty brand. So what I'm charging us to do is, first of all, taking this word, plug in belief and faith into it. And second of all, stay immobilized. So when Pastor Tafara is saying, bring 5 people, what are we going to do next week? Bring 5 people. Is it 2? No. Is it 3? Oh, it was even 10. Wow, multiplication, I love it. Excellent. So my encouragement is that you plug into these communities. You've heard all the communities speak. I'm also part of the healthcare community, being a pharmacist. Thank you very much. So there's something for everyone, and that's the beauty of this gathering. That's the beauty. Just keep coming, keep plugging in. Don't make it too complicated. Just be here, yeah? Right, so I'm going to get the QR code in because, of course, speaking about the community, it's very important that you plug in so you get all the updates. As Pastor Forrest said, we're going to be having a lot of events, starting with football on Friday. So if we can get the QR code and everybody gets their phone up, I know many of you do this every week, but I know you have not been joining this WhatsApp group. So scan that QR code, join us on our socials and our WhatsApp. We actually do have a laugh in there, to be fair. Thursday, sorry, let me get out of your way.
Thursday is going to be absolutely amazing. Can I get a round of applause for Thursday? And we've actually been charged. So Thursday is our service where we gather with the whole family. So this is actually just one of the churches out of 4. But we all come together on a Thursday with the wider family, and we've actually been given some tickets, which I think is really amazing because usually it's just the family, but we've been given extra tickets. So we've been charged to bring one person. So somebody in this room is my one person. If you want to volunteer, come up to me. Catherine's already smiling at me like, yeah, me. Yeah, it's either Catherine or James, or I can have both of them. But one, excuse me. Stay mobilized, yeah. Stay mobilized. She said, at the end of the day, that's my brother. That's my brother, right? So, I was going to sing that thing from Mufasa, but let me respect myself. So, yeah. Who did it for you? So, on Thursday, we need everybody to bring one person. If I were you, I would use ENG and bring a one person for me. So, Catherine, James, shout out. And then, of course, next week, we're still on the 100-man project. So as Pastor Forrest said, 5 people. The way that I'm looking at Tyrell right now, because I'm excited, if you hear the soulful thing that he was doing on Saturday at Social Changes, I just can't wait. But before we get there, I don't know if many of you remember what Pastor Hannah showed us last week, which was the ENG fund. This fund is very important because, as you know, in as much as, you know, we have this amazing community, there's a lot more that we want to do. And so ENG Fund is just basically a platform where you can contribute financially to this work and watch us just grow and do more and just empower these communities more. So if you have been touched and you want to contribute, please do reach out to Pastor Hannah and she will speak you through the process. Now, who's ready to get their soul touched? That's right. So Taro's going to come, and then we're going to end the service. And most importantly, please network. We have to be out here by 9:55, but in that time, network. I'm so happy to see LJ. I'm going straight to him after service because we've been talking in the week. Hi. You think you're surprised, isn't it? It's you I'm talking to. But yeah, network, meet somebody new, find out what they do. That one person may be your connection to everything that you ever needed, so make use of it. Okay. Let's enjoy Tower's performance. Thank you very much.
Okay, guys. My head is about to burst, I swear. Okay, yeah, I'll be singing my original song called Wait For Me To Shine. Yeah. Listen. Okay. Oh yeah. Ooh. Oh yeah. Wait for me to shine. I know it's gonna take some time. Wait for me to thrive. This reason of my life, this gift is mine. One day you will see what's destined for me. If by God design, just wait for me to shine. Oh, bright lights, big stage, big crowd, my name, my voice, my say, my dreams, my way, big stage, yeah.
Cool. Of course, we're going to go into our networking segment, so make sure you speak to someone, make sure you get to know someone new.